My man. My man.
Alright guys, so on this particular video we're going to talk about a little bit of topic that, when I started looking through some of the footage that I had here available, I kind of thought about this and I just pieced a couple of this footage together, and I did want to talk about it because I felt that it was good for you. Sometimes as I think about my journey through 2A and having my first firearm and moving through it and getting to where I am right now, I get a lot of questions, why'd you get into firearms and all that other stuff. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and how it's impacted me when I talk to other folks about 2A. If you guys are finding me for the first time, thank you guys very much. Please consider subscribing. That's the best way you can help out this channel. But yeah, let's get right into it. So you saw some of that footage. I want to thank Joe, my brother-in-law. He went on a visit up here to South Carolina. He's originally from Florida. That's where I'm from. Came up here, and I probably have asked him several times, hey, do you want to go out to a range? Hey, do you want to go out to a range? When I lived in Florida and all that stuff. He's always heard me talk about firearms. He always puts up with all that crap that I talk about. And he asks questions every now and again. And finally, he came up here this one time and we said, you want to go? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Lo and behold, we went out there. We did some good time with him. Spent really more time around him and getting him comfortable around the firearm. That particular day, we were shooting Glock variants. I think it was a regular dagger that we were shooting. And I just kind of wanted to get him comfortable in shooting. He's never really shot outdoors. He's shot, I think, one time before this, but I wanted to make sure that he felt comfortable. I feel like when I go out with folks that have never shot or have shot once or twice, they get a little bit of a different feel from when they go out shooting with me. So that kind of brings me to a couple of things that I was talking about. So what's important when you go out to the range? I'm going to go off by a couple of them, right? First one is safety. You want to make sure that that person out there is 100% safe. I'm worried about their safety. I want them to worry about their safety and mine, and just in general, if they were on the fence about buying a firearm, what that firearm can do, and how to make sure that you have that safety, not only for the user, but for anyone around it. So safety. Safety is probably topic number one that I always like to talk about. Two, the knowledge. Knowing how a firearm works. We spend a lot of time on just going over the firearm, components of it, how to load it, how to, actuate every single part of different firearms. I typically take a couple of different firearms so they feel comfortable with it, and just talk to them about that. So knowledge, right? Knowing what the gun can do. Then we go about basics. I try to stay a lot on basics. How you grip a firearm. Normally I just tell them, show me how you would grip a firearm. What you know, what you've learned, what you've seen from TV, or just in general from anyone. Some of them will go good, some of them won't go as great, and then we spend a lot of time on that. I want to say, really, the biggest part of any trip that I go out there is spending on the fundamentals. A really good grip, natural grip, what your support hand is doing, what that trigger should feel like, overall surroundings, stance. We work a lot on stance, and just how to understand what all those parts kind of go into. I over elaborate sometimes, and I kind of say all these things are going on in your head, right? And I like to see the progression from unholstering a firearm, which we even start with holsters because I want them to get comfortable 100%. A lot of people say, well, they buy a firearm and they don't buy a holster. We're never not going to just carry a firearm like this. Some people are not just going to, have it in their pocket. And if they do, that's why I want to talk about holsters, right? How we should carry a firearm. But then, I make an equation and we go from like 1 through 10, present your firearm, certain grip, trigger should feel this way, sights are going to be looking this way, target's going to be looking like that, dot is in here, how your eyes should be open, one eye closed, one eye open, both eyes open, all that stuff. Present how your arm should be feeling, how your body should be, how we don't move a target to it. And then ultimately, let them shoot, right? At first, I start seeing that equation happen, and we start picking at some of those equations. Oh, your shoulders weren't right, your stance wasn't right, and we start adjusting a little bit. As we move through it, I get more into getting them more comfortable, and we start seeing that progression slowly climbing up. I don't like to jump them into a firearm that they're not going to be comfortable with. If I see that the recoil, they can't control it, adjust the firearm. I'm not going to have somebody shoot a 45 ACP first time out. I'm not also going to always start them on a 22 LR. I used to do that, and I found that it builds bad habits. So I start them off with a 9mm, something that they feel comfortable with in their hands, kind of feeling really good about it. And as that progression slowly starts to climb, they get more and more comfortable. Now, here's a trick that I've kind of learned, and not everyone might have this. But if you have a shot timer, or if you have something that can mimic a shot timer, I think it is so crucial to introduce it. Why? It's not because of looking for speed. It's just to kind of mimic when you're going to use a firearm. So I don't talk about we're going to go for drawing fast or anything like this. It's just the beep starts the fight, right? So if you ever really needed to use your firearm, that beep says that other person already has their firearm out. How do we get into the fight? And I see that once that beep goes on, that equation that they were working, that they were trying to do all of that together, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 1 = 3, 3 + 1 = 4, and all that stuff, it gets kind of erased, and they have to use natural instinct because they've learned little progressions, and it kind of has becomes like a reset, and it gets them skipping steps, but good steps, right? It gets them comfortable and not using it so like robotic, which is awesome. And then ultimately, the bigger part of what I feel that I get with people, so they go out there, is just making them have fun. If you put, like I was talking about, a gun that is way more powerful than that person can shoot, and you put it in their hands, they're not going to feel comfortable. They're going to be feeling afraid, timid. Oh, I don't like this. This is not a good feeling that I want to have. And they'll say, I'm not going to shoot this again, or I'm not going to get behind the firearm because you scared them out of the way. You don't want to put a shotgun in somebody's hand as their first time gun to shoot. But having fun. I have one particular firearm, an AR-9, that I kind of call my John Wick gun, right? And I say to them, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to sprinkle my John Wick dust on you, and you're going to become John Wick overnight. And once I let them go with that, it's awesome. I'm going to roll that footage right now. You guys can see. It's quite fun when they go from first couple of shots to that. That is incredible. They leave out of there with a really, really positive attitude, and they kind of say, I can do it. It's not as bad as it was, or I thought it was going to be. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think of how do you introduce people into firearms? How do they get better at it? How do you get them more comfortable to become a better shooter? Get that in the comment section below. I'd really be intrigued to find out what you guys think. That is it for me, guys. Still going through a lot of footage, going through old stuff, combining some things. Make sure you're staying tuned. We have some of the footage from the gathering coming up. A couple of those videos that are going to be showing through. Remember, subscribing is the best way to support this channel. It's because of folks like you that this videos come out, and I get to try to do this content for you guys. As always, make sure you stay safe, continue to train, and I'll see you guys out at the range.
Right. There you go. There you go.